Welcome to our March 2018 Park City Market Talk webinar. I'm Ron Wilstein, broker at Keller Williams Luxury Properties.
And I'm Jeremy Wilstein, buyer consultant for the Wilstein team. And we're here to share with you the March 2018 Park City Market Talk webinar.
All right. Well, we just got done with the Olympics. Did you catch much of that, Jeremy?
I caught a bit of the Olympics. It was very exciting.
A lot of fun. Great to see the athletes there. A lot of them came from Park City. Quite proud of our Olympians. They did a terrific job. We're highlighting a few of them that are skiers and snowboarders in our neck of the woods. And then we want to bring your attention to the Big Air Olympic debut that happened this first Olympics in 2018. This is important because why, Jeremy?
Well, it's a brand new event. They brought the Big Air snowboarding to the Olympics, but more importantly is who built the Big Air.
Yes, who did build the Big Air, Jeremy?
Who was that? That's my brother-in-law.
That's right. My daughter lives in New Zealand, and she married a Kiwi, and we're going to introduce you to him a little bit. We'll get out of the way here because this appeared on the internet. Kiwi snowmaker puts the icing on the cake at the Winter Games. It helped that Kiwi won the bronze there. But we want to tell you about Scott Shields. He's married to my daughter, and there was this nice write-up about him as he helped these Olympians go on to win. And the best part of all is here he is. There's Scott.
Aww. And
my daughter Rachel and my two granddaughters, Alta in the green dress and Meg.
Yeah.
They live in Cardrona Valley, which is between Queenstown and Wanaka. And we're quite proud of him, and we're of course proud of the whole family.
Yeah, it's great Olympics, amazing venue, amazing job by Scott. So kudos, Scott.
That's right. Thumbs up to Scott. We're real proud of him. And here's my thumb. There it's up. Yay, Scott. All right. So with that in mind, let's show you some other workmanship that was done at the Olympics. It's really just amazing how they carved that snow and the talent that's involved.
Looks like a video game out there.
Yeah.
Perfect conditions.
It was terrific. It really was great. Well, time is running out on the ski season, both for skiers and riders. Deer Valley is scheduled to close on Sunday, April 8th.
And then Park City Mountain is scheduled to close on the 16th on that Sunday.
So we just have a couple weeks left, but a very exciting event happened this past weekend, and you participated in this. So Jeremy, tell us a little bit about the Chinese Downhill.
Okay, so this isn't really a sanctioned event, but this is a lot of Old Town locals getting together and doing what we like to call the Chinese Downhill. It involves dressing up in funny outfits, drinking beers, and then racing from the top of the mountain to the bottom as fast as you can, and drinking a beer when you get to the bottom. So,
all right. Well, just to get warmed up here, let's show you a quick little snippet of a previous year, and let's take a look at it.
Yes, this is a video from a few years ago. But
here we go.
all right.
All right, that was a lot of fun, and you were there.
I was there. I wasn't there that year, but they had a mechanical bull, and I want to thank Tori with that video, spreadstoke.com.
It's great. All right, well, let's get down to business here. We're going to give you an update on this webinar on the real estate market in Park City.
Then we're going to jump over to the ski pass wars between the new Icon Pass against the Epic Pass.
Yes, very interesting and great opportunities for riders and skiers. We want to talk about the tax reform that got voted in at the end of last year. Got voted in, but people didn't know a lot about it, and so we want to talk about that today.
Mm-hmm. And then we're going to talk about the Park City home selling season, which is right upon us.
That's right. So let's take a look at the Park City real estate market. Over the past year, we've seen 1,379 sales. These are homes, condominiums, and vacant land. This is up 3% or 36 sales from the same time the year before.
And then taking a closer look, in terms of home sales, we were up 4% with a few 20 more sales from the same time last year. And then condos were down 1%, about 7 sales. And then lots jumped up 14%. And what's that math there? 23 more sales.
Okay, now let's break it down into homes, condos, and lots. Here we have homes, and we're looking at the broken into two sections, the Park City city limits and then the Snyderville Basin, which is the county area of Park City. Number of sales in the city up 17% from 152 to 178, and just down slightly 2% from 386 to 380 in the Snyderville Basin for homes.
Moving over to condominiums, inside the city limits, we're up 5% to 339 sales. And out in Snyderville Basin, down 8% to from 318 to 294 sales this last time period.
And now we're looking at vacant land, and we see quite a bit of a jump here. We don't have a lot of land available in the city limits, but it climbed from previous year of 17 all the way to 26. And in the Snyderville Basin, increased about 9% from 148 to 162. Time on the market is about the same. We always look at this to see hotter markets, maybe properties are selling faster. We've got a limited supply market. In fact, our current inventory, according to the Park City Multiple Listing Service, is the lowest inventory we've had since the Park City MOS has been keeping a record. Of course, going back, there were fewer properties, so definitely a limited inventory.
Yeah.
And that leads to prices going up.
So taking a look at now prices, comparing the Park City limits in Snyderville Basin, and these are home median sold prices. Look at Park City, up 12% over 1.9 million for your median price. And then in the Snyderville Basin, again, we've been reporting for the last couple months. Now we are up over that $7 million mark to $1,035,000 in the Snyderville Basin.
That's right. We hit against it for a long time, but we broke through about 3 months ago, and it's holding. So got new values in the Snyderville Basin. Condominiums in the city limits up about 7% from just under 700,000 to 742,000, and up 4% in the Snyderville Basin, climbing from 467,500, 20,000 higher, 487,500.
Lastly, we'll take a look at land. Now we see a huge jump, 18% in the vacant land in Park City, up to 802,500. We did have 3 rather large sales at 3.7 million for a piece of vacant land up in Red Cloud, top of Deer Valley. Another sale in Red Cloud at 2.85 million for a piece of raw land. And finally, a Deer Crest lot that sold just over 2.8 million as well. So we don't have a lot of land sales, but when we have 3 large sales like that, it sometimes skews the data a little bit.
That's right. So it's good to see that people are buying land. They're looking to invest and build some pretty impressive homes there for sure.
Snyderville Basin was down 2%, down from 464 to 454, 500. Pretty close.
Now this has been there on everybody's mind. This ski pass wars.
It's been a battle out there, and I'm loving it. I love this. Because each resort to keep up on the other one, or each pass has to add more mountains, and we just get to ski more mountains. So we're going to talk about the Icon Pass, the newest pass that came out, and the reason why we're talking about it is we have our local Deer Valley Resort, which sold last year and has been added to this Icon Pass. In addition, we have Alta and Snowbird, which are amazing resorts as well. 2 out of 3 only allow skiers, so you snowboarders probably better switch over.
Gonna have to cross the line.
If you want to really take advantage of this, But in addition, look at that. Jackson Hole, Wyoming, 4.5 hours away. Copper, Aspen, Snowmass, Winter Park, Steamboat, Big Sky, Montana. Amazing resorts on this pass as well.
Now more than ever, you can ski so many different resorts, and they make it easier and they make it more affordable, frankly. Talk about the Epic Pass, Jeremy.
All right, so Epic Pass, they are moving. Vail is always adding resorts. They added Crested Butte, Okemo, and Mount Sunapee to the Epic Pass. And the latest addition, Telluride. Who would have thought Telluride would get on the Epic Pass? But they have.
That's right. You don't have to stay in the country because
you can go to Japan. Japan, they added the Epic Pass Hakuba Valley. For those not familiar with Hakuba Valley, that's in the Nagano region. If you remember the 1998 Olympics, that's Hakuba Valley. I had the benefit of skiing that this year, and it was fantastic. So you can now ski 2 different regions on 2 different islands in Japan on the Epic Pass.
Wow.
When will it end?
Well, it may never end. We hope it doesn't end.
And then we just want to mention we've got the Icon Pass and the Epic Pass. Some of you might have heard of the Mountain Collective Pass. Offers 16 resorts and some international resorts. They give you 2 days at each one for a very low rate as well. But the Icon and the Epic Pass are more of a season pass to go to all these different mountains.
So we'll give you more information as we approach next season, since we're at the tail end of this one. But it's what a great way to experience more terrain and see the world. With that in mind, let's talk about the tax reform. Now, we all know that that was voted in at the end of last year, 2017. We also know that not a lot of people, including those who voted, knew exactly what they were voting on. And so we've waited a couple months to let some of the dust settle a bit. We want to talk about some of the elements that particularly impact real estate. So we have here some of the things we're going to talk about here with mortgage interest deductions being affected, home equity loans, capital gains, moving expenses. So let's do a little comparison, old versus new.
All right, so big one, mortgage interest deduction. The old law, interest on the first $1 million of mortgage debt could be claimed as a deduction. New law, they dropped it to $750,000 of mortgage debt can be claimed. And these are mortgages taken out after December 15, 2017. So previous mortgages will be grandfathered in and remain at that first $1 million.
Then there is the state and local taxes, sometimes known as SALT. The old law said that you had the option of deducting real estate tax or income tax, excuse me, or sales tax paid to state and local governments. That took a change here because they capped it at $10,000, and so a little bit of a reduction. If you relied upon that, you need to strategize a little bit differently as a result.
Third thing, let's talk about home equity loans. The old law, you could deduct up to $100,000 of interest paid on home equity loans. That's quite a bit of interest.
Yes, it is.
The new law, they just took it away. No longer can you deduct the interest on your home equity loans. And that's including existing home equity loans. So nothing is grandfathered in. No more interest on HELOCs.
Yep. And a big one that everyone's interested in knowing about is capital gains exclusion. Owners must have lived in the property for 2 of 5 years, and you're allowed to exclude up to $250,000 upon the sale of the property, or for those who file jointly, $500,000. And that can be done about every 2 years. That was the old law. The new law, no change. We like that. That's a great one for real estate, certainly for home ownership, and be heartbreaking if that one was really altered.
Next one, we're going to talk about moving expenses. The old law is you could deduct moving costs if your move was due to relocation or a transfer to a new location. New law, moving costs can still be deducted. We're going to honor our active military with a permanent change of station, and they are going to be the only ones that get that benefit moving forward.
And then finally, let's look at state tax, sometimes known as the death tax. The old law, lifetime exemption was $5.6 million for individuals and $11.6 million for married couples. That one doubled. How about that? Lifetime exemption is now $11.2 million for individuals, $22.4 million for married couples. And this, of course, has an impact upon real estate often because a lot of people have a lot of value and assets that have been gained through real estate. And so this is, if you have a lot of that, this was one in your favor. Good news. If you are following the Wall Street Journal, who doesn't follow the Wall Street Journal? They came out recently with an article that said spring home sales could be weakest in years, and we thought we need to talk about that a little bit here. They said that higher prices, which we talked about for Park City, is having an impact, slows down buyer interest. Tax changes, we talked about that a little bit, and anticipated rising interest rates. So collectively, those three things may have an impact upon the spring home selling season. Well, that may be all well and good, but what does that have to do with Park City? The reason we want to talk about this is because there's a tendency to look at the Wall Street Journal or other large publications, see what it says about the real estate market, and assume that's true everywhere. When in reality, real estate is like the weather. It's different everywhere, and you can't simply say, gee, it was snowing here, so it must be snowing there, or they've got a heat wave. Now more than ever, boy, the weather is showing every conceivable thing. One part of the country, east, is taking a beating, totally different thing in the west. So you have to realize that real estate is the same way. There is no national real estate market, no matter how much Wall Street Journal may suggest. It's always local. So you want to look at it locally. As I mentioned earlier, got the lowest inventory in the history of Park City for properties for sale. That creates supply and demand, and it pushes prices up like we've seen. So it's going to be a little bit different than the Wall Street Journal might suggest. We've got a lot of people who come from all around the country to Park City. That's what they're reading, and they have to adjust a little bit and learn the realities of Park City. So with that in mind, let's talk about the fact that the primary home selling season is moving in our direction as the ski season runs down. When is the primary home selling season, Jeremy?
Primary home selling season is usually May through August. Reason being, homes or families usually will take the move when the kids are out of school. So properties will begin to come on around April, because if we have a 30-month escrow, then that times that family looking to sell, try to sell right at May, and then move on to wherever they're going. Likewise, buyers will come in during that time as well.
And they start looking at the internet to see what's on the market early before they make the move. So things are starting to happen pretty much now as we wrap up the ski season. If you're considering selling your property, you want to begin the research now so that you know what your options are and you have an idea of what your property is worth and what the competition is. So what you want to do is you want to find out about properties for sale in your neighborhood or your condominium. That's the starting point. Then you find out how much properties have sold for in your neighborhood. That will give you a ballpark idea. If you really want to dial it in, then you need the assistance of a property value assessment. We offer a free one upon request. There's no obligation. And so if you're interested in that, don't hesitate to ask for it. But we'll show you how to get the information on these first 2 points as well. You begin by going to BuyParkCity.com, and it's really simple. You request a recent sales data. Let me show you how that's done. All right, here we are on BuyParkCity.com, the home page. What you want to do is you want to go up to search by subdivisions, and as you scroll down a little bit, you're going to come across a number of subdivisions that we've already created many searches for you on here. You can select the one that's applicable for your situation, and if it isn't, you can do an advanced search and choose what you're after. But let's say we go to Park Meadows as an example. Now you're on the home page on Park Meadows, and you scroll down a little bit, and you're going to have your choices of the different subdivisions in Park Meadows, whether they're condos or homes and vacant land, or you just choose to view homes, condos, or lots. That's how you see what's on the market, either in Park Meadows overall or the specific subdivisions or condo projects you might be interested in. But coming back to the top, right here, this is what I want you to see, this button here, Request Recent Sales Data. Click that, and this window pops up, and it already is selected sold data on recent sales in your neighborhood or condominium. That's what you want emailed to you. So you go down here, because we don't know what your choice is, and you put in, let's say, Park Meadows. You could put in a condominium name. You could put multiple ones in. Doesn't matter. That's what we need. And fill out your name, your email and phone number, and then send that to us. And there's a little button down here where you hit submit. What I want you to see here is if you want also a free property value assessment at the same time you get the solds, just click on that button. And if you want some recommendations on repairs evaluation, you can choose that one as well. But it's really quite simple. Hit submit, and that will come to us, and we'll get you that information. No cost, no obligation. It's really just that easy. So with that in mind, do you have any questions? You can shoot us an email, Jeremy at the Wilstein team, Ron at the Wilstein team. If you want us to give you a call, include your phone number, and we will reach out to you. And I want to thank you for watching our webinar. See you on the slopes. Well, that'd be good for a sound check. It's Park City Market Talk, March 2018.
I am Jeremy Wilstein, and this is my old man, Ron Wilstein.
I don't want to hurt you yet.
He's trying to hurt me.
Here we go. Who are those people?
These are all the Olympians.
They're awesome. How about these guys?
These people won the gold.
Yep, and snowboarding. Who built this?
Oh,
Big
my
Air?
brother-in-law.
Your brother-in-law. All right. That's all we have to say about it.